Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. My name is Richard Lewis Brown. Let me say it for you again. Good morning, good morning, good morning. My name is Richard Lewis Brown. Today is April 1st, 2025. I am your local 1000 president, still fighting for you. I will be reinstated. Don't ever stop believing that. I will be reinstated. And once I'm reinstated, we will create a real labor union. So let's get started really quickly. Today's title of this particular video, I'm going to be very calm today, very relaxed. How you doing, Scott? And I'm also on YouTube. I'm live on YouTube as well. Ending COPE contributions to Local 1000. Today's video, April 1st, 2025, ending your COPE contributions to Local 1000. If they're calling you from Local 1000 to contribute to COPE, the Committee on Political Education, don't do it. Your Local 1000 president is telling you, do not contribute to politicians. The COPE, the Committee on Political Education, that money, if you decide to give extra money to Local 1000, that money goes to SEIU in DC. That money never comes back here. Let me say it for you again. The money that you contribute to COPE, you should stop it. Because that money goes to SEIU, Service Employees International Union in DC. The money never comes back here. If they tell you that it does, they're lying to you. You're transgendering the truth. The money does not come back. It's for political programs for SEIU in DC. If we don't pay so much money in COPE every year, there's a 50% penalty over what we didn't pay. There's a certain threshold. It's close to $1 million, I believe. Anywhere between $500,000 to $1 million. We don't pay that money, there's a 50% penalty. 50% penalty on top of the money that you didn't pay, the difference. You have to pay the difference plus a 50% that you didn't pay on that difference. Sounds like extortion? Possibly, but that's the agreement we have because we're affiliated with SEIU. And this is why I say slaves entertaining in unity, because they got you conditioned to believe you're a slave. And in modern day terms, they call it a public servant. But they've got you conditioned to believe that. And that's why on March 12th, I was rallying against Local 1000, not against the return to work, about stopping that. But what I'm saying to you is I was yelling, saying that you're acting like slaves entertaining in unity for Gavin Newsom. You have transgendered the truth. I am still your Local 1000 president. I am your chief negotiator. And this current and valid contract is garbage. It's fecal matter. It's fecal matter. And that's why all these years, all of these childlike condescending contracts have been fecal matter. And that's why when you wake up to go to work, or you go to work in the afternoons or in the evenings or at night for the state of California, you have this fecal feeling. Because your union is full of fecal matter. And not in a good way. Not in a good way. This is not good fecal matter. This is bad fecal matter. This is bad waste material. This is contaminated waste material. All right? Okay. So if you're contributing to COPE, stop. Send a letter to Local 1000. You can call the MRC 866. Gosh, I haven't said the number so long. 866, I can't remember the number. 866-737-7348. All right. But call Local 1000 and tell them you want to stop your COPE contribution. If you pay it. If they're sending you emails, text messages, asking you to contribute to COPE, say the president of Local 1000, Richard Lewis Brown, said, do not contribute. I will not contribute because Richard Lewis Brown, my president, said don't contribute to COPE. All right? And the money they get in DC that you send for your COPE contribution goes to fight for ideas of the Democratic Party. That's the only party they support. That's factual. If they supported anything from the Republican Party or the Green Party or the Independent Party, contact me. Thank you. I see you on YouTube. I see you. All right. So I'm giving you the facts. All right, I'm going to try to keep this going kind of smooth, and then I'll slow down a little bit. As you know, I received a threatening, harassing letter in the mail. I believe it's from Richard Rees Wake. Richard Rees Wake, I had to file a lawsuit against because he made some defamatory statements against me. So I get a letter in the mail, and it says here, CalPERS Legal Division, CalHR Legal Division, Office of the Inspector General, DMV Legal Division, State Treasurer Legal Division, Sacramento B, State Worker, Office of the State Attorney General, Sacramento County Superior Court Department 54. Okay? This is trying to intimidate me. It's dated 3/27/2025. This is a fourth follow-up letter that was sent to you dated 3/12/2025 regarding former SEIU Local 1000 President Richard Louis Brown. This person is saying former. I am still your Local 1000 President. They never removed me from office. They've been winning in court. Yes, they have. But I'm still your president. I am still your president. And that's why I'm in the appeals court. I will be reinstated. And when you're people on Facebook saying I'm delusional, no, I'm factual. I'm not delusional. See, the people on Facebook who are attacking me, they have bad fecal matter. I have good fecal matter. Every day, sometimes twice a day. But I have good fecal matter. Any person who has good fecal matter has a healthy body. But some people have bad fecal matter. And they contaminate others. Some people's fecal matter is so bad that when they come to your home, you don't want them to use your bathroom. This person who wrote this, it's about have a nice day, they have bad fecal matter. And so they go on here to say, I want to encourage all of you to take a look at Mr. Brown's Facebook page under the name R.L. Brown. March 24th, 2025, posted another lengthy rant about him still being the president of SEIU 1000 and how he's pledging to everyone he will win his court cases and be reinstated. That's accurate. Yes, I am still your president and I will be reinstated. Then he goes on here in his rant, as well as others, he continues to spew all these crazy conspiracy theories on how he was discriminated against by the union. However, this time he went too far. I haven't done any conspiracies. I've told you the facts. I suspended the 3 vice presidents of their official duties on February 25th, 2022. They retaliated and tried to suspend me on February 27th, 2022. And they've been getting away with it so far. But justice is on the way, but it takes a long time to get here. A long time to get here. So this current person acting like she's a president, quote, her dancing deception, all that's going to come to an end. All right, so we continue on here. However, this time he went too far. He used the term transgender to call the governor a liar, as well as Annika Walls, the president of SEIU 1000. Transgender, that's what the governor said. The governor said that he was wrong on trans girls playing in girls' sports. In fact, they're bringing a bill now up on the California legislature to stop that. All right? Annika Walls is suspended of her official duties as of February 25th, 2022. She's an imposter. She's giving you an Oscar-winning performance, a B-rated one. She's not your president. I'm still your president. And I'm going to prove it to you here. Now, as we read on here, this is not only highly offensive in and of itself, it is in his perverse way of distorting the facts to conveniently fit his warped version of reality. I don't have a warped version of reality. I believe Richard Wake wrote this. And more likelihood than not, he wrote this because the same language he wrote in this, he's written in emails to me to intimidate me, offering me on 4 different occasions private apologies for what he said to me, I believe on May 29th, 2024 on Facebook. So anyway, he goes on here, his latest rant on YouTube. He also states other wild assertions about corrupt courts and how Governor Newsom is forcing the union to do his bidding. Governor Newsom had me removed from office. Can I prove it? Not quite. But when they had their illegal board meeting, they did it at the Sacramento Democratic headquarters. Who would have to allow that to happen? In my opinion, Governor Newsom. All right, so we'll keep going here. He also asserts that everything about the current elected officials of the union and the current contract were illegal. Yes, the current contract is illegal. It's an invalid contract. Now, these current new leaders they elected in the illegal 2024 election, they're not your leaders. That was no real election. The president runs all elections. Look it up in the policy file. The 2018 or the 2020 policy file. Not the new one that they quote jerry-rigged around. Not that one. Because they changed everything to validate your vigilante justice behavior. Because their fecal matter is so contaminated. It's so bad. It's not healthy fecal matter. It's bad fecal matter. It's bad waste material. If they went to the Vatican would ask them, please don't use our bathrooms. In fact, we shouldn't allow you here because your fecal-like attitude and your fecal-like behavior is unbecoming. It's stinky, and we can't contain it. All right. So, it also says here, he also asserts that everything about the current officials, okay, I said that. He keeps saying he will be reinstated as a president of the union. Yes, I'm consistent. I have a 10-point platform. Any elected leader should have a platform of what they stand on. I have a 10-point platform that goes back to 2015. The most latest one was 2018 and 2021. I have a 10-point platform to help you get a 21% pay increase across the board equally for everyone, along with GOP and COLA. Okay? I have a platform that I stand on. It's my 10 commandments. Everything's going to be transparent. Everyone's a job steward. Okay? 21% pay increase. GOP and COLA. No job loss while under a signed contract. Let me say it for you again. No job loss while under a signed contract. No changing of your work hours. Then he goes on here and says, we all know that it is not possible to do since he is on medical retirement. That's an absolute lie. I'm not on medical retirement. I had to retire naturally because I was forced into it because of the work stress from my job because of self-serving, egotistical supervisors. They were trying to force me back to work. And then I was told they were going to fire me. But the stress from the job and from Local 1000 forced me into a retirement because of bad behaving, self-serving, egotistical, self-serving supervisors. I keep saying self-serving because a percentage of supervisors are self-serving. Does that mean every single supervisor is self-serving? Every single one? No, that's a stereotype. But many supervisors are self-serving. Let's move on. And in fact, his video, he claims he retired because of stress, which would coincide with the over 15 different mental health afflictions he said he has in his lawsuit he filed with the federal court against the Department of Veteran Affairs. Yes, I filed a federal lawsuit because my medical provider wouldn't sign up for my medical retirement paperwork. I was away from work more than 12 consecutive months. I qualified. They didn't want to. I filed a federal lawsuit because I don't just talk about things. I do things. I take action. So when I'm fighting Local 1000, fighting for you to get you your money, and these people were doing dancing, acting like they're fighting to stop their return to work under the invalid contract, here's the question you should ask yourself. Why didn't they get all that fixed in the contract that's invalid? They should have had all that straight then, but they didn't do it because I'm your chief negotiator. I have that power, not them. Okay, so then he goes on here. If he is mentally like he claimed, let me read this to you again. It is ironic that in his lawsuit with the department, he filed in the 54 Sacramento Superior Court against the union, the retired union steward. Well, the retired union steward, I guess, is Richard Rees-Wake. He claims he is not mentally ill. I am not mentally ill. I'm not. All right? That's why I had to sue Mr. Richard Rees-Wake. Look it up on the Sacramento Superior Court website. I had to sue him. He made a defamatory statement. I'm not mentally ill. The VA has never diagnosed me for mental illness. No, they haven't. No. So, because if they had, then they would have signed up on my medical retirement paperwork. You see how that works? All right. So let's move on here. So now he says here, he claims he's not mentally ill. Mr. Brown cannot have it both ways. I'm not trying to transgender the truth. This person who's sending me the harassment letter saying he's going to contact these people, he or she. This is how I said that, he or she, not they or them, he or she. This person is, quote, doing harassing. If I didn't know any better. So if he is not mentally ill, then he clearly committed fraud when submitting his paperwork to retire. Speaking as an observer that is highly educated, I would recommend the following. Listen to this. This is what we call harassment. Remember they sent the cops to my house on May 25th, 2021? That was harassment. What does that have to do with the Local 1000, me getting your money? Because I was going to get you your money, the 21% pay increase, I was going to get it for you. And they didn't want that to happen. But we would have to go on strike after negotiating in good faith. We would have to go on strike and shut the state down. And that would have happened. They know this. And that's why they had to run me out of office. Anyway, he wants DMV to require me to prove that I'm mentally fit to be behind the wheel. Already done that. Someone made a false complaint on me. Is it the same person who did this letter? I don't know. Someone made a false complaint against me on DMV. I went to DMV. I got that straight. I'm still driving. But they were trying to harass me and intimidate me. Then he goes, he should be investigated for potentially committing fraud with the state pursuant to his medical retirement. No. I went on state disability. Work-related stress. It's documented. That's why these people ain't done anything. I didn't lie about anything. Local 1000, in addition to my job, had created so much stress that I had to go on disability for a while. Many of you have gone on disability. Does that mean you're mentally ill when you go on disability from work-related stress? Does that mean you have a mental illness? Because if that's the case, 90% of America is mentally ill. Let's move on. Mr. Brown should be investigated for potentially committing perjury pursuant to filing his lawsuit against the retired state worker union steward. No, I filed a valid, merit-filled lawsuit against Richard Reeves Wake. I didn't violate his freedom of speech. His anti-slap motion got slapped down twice. What does that have to do with Local 1000? Because this is what Local 1000 does to people. They try to intimidate you. They try to manipulate you. They transgender the truth. They bully you. They harass you. They want to make you give up. You can't do that to me. I know my value. All right. So then it goes here. Mr. Brown should be declared a vexatious litigant by the court and not be able to file any more frivolous lawsuits. All my lawsuits are merit-filled. Local 1000 tried to say I was frivolous on back in 24. They lost their vexatious litigant lawsuit against me. December 4th, 24. They lost that. But now he comes right back. So when you fight for who you are, you fight for what you believe in, you don't use vigilante justice, you don't commit acts of crime, criminal or civil, and then you file in court, and then they turn around and try to use that against you and say you're filing a vexatious motions. This is harassment, right? This is harassment and intimidation, in my opinion. Now, then it says, in closing, he should not be allowed to continue to ruin people's lives any further. Wait a minute. The cops came to my house on May 25th, 2021. My life was in my hands. But the cops didn't stereotype me. I didn't tell anyone. Do you remember when they told me different things and they called me curse words? Do you remember that? Do you remember that? I haven't ruined anyone's life. I've tried to enhance your life, not ruin it. Here it is, and then he ends by saying this. He is clearly a few fries short of a Happy Meal. From a concerned citizen observer. Well, number one, I don't really eat McDonald's. I don't eat fast food. Okay? I'm a few fries short. And then if he was so concerned about my health, then why hasn't he contacted my family? Or she contacted my family? If they were so educated and so concerned, then why didn't they put their names to it? Now listen to this. Listen to this. He put the date, but he didn't sign his name, or she didn't sign his name. So they're so confident in what they're talking about, but yet they won't put their name to it, nor will they put their return address. But it came from zip code 957 something, somewhere in Sacramento. It comes at 957. So this person did all this. I didn't touch that have a nice day part because there's fingerprints on that. When we do a fingerprint analysis, we'll find out possibly who it is. All right. But he didn't sign it. She didn't sign it. Brings me to our next point. What does marriage look like to you? When I tell you that I love you, I put it in writing and I date it. Okay? This current and valid contract, if you go to your local 1000 website, look up the current contract. Okay? There's no cover page. There's no back page. There's no date of what period it covers. There's no date to what period it covers. There's no signature by the president, because I'm your president. And that's why the president's signature is not in the book, because I'm still your president. And that's why when the state legislature approved it, because they helped, because under the direction of Gavin Newsom, technically, they ran me out of office. They knew what they were doing, but they know I'm the president. And the president's name always goes on a contract for a union as the chief negotiator. It ain't the VPs. Now, you may add the vice president's names and the bunk chair's names, but the president's name is your chief negotiator. The buck starts and ends with him or her. Okay? And I don't believe we've had any transgendered presidents of any unions in America. Not yet. That may happen in the future. But so far, it's either he or she. All right? But you have a contract with no coverage. It didn't tell you where it starts and when it ends. There's no signatures in that book that they got online, because it's not a contract. Because Gavin Newsom had me removed from office. Can I prove it? No. But everything lines up to benefit him so he can run for president in 2028. So who's his biggest threat in the state of California? The local 1000 president who was fighting him. All right? That's who his biggest threat in the state of California. It's not the Republican Party. It's Richard Lewis Brown. And I'm fighting for you. What does a marriage certificate look like? When you marry somebody, it has the date of the marriage. If you just couldn't afford a big church wedding, you would go down to the courthouse and they'd give you a legal document called a marriage certificate. It would have the date, and then it have your wife, your name and your wife, or your husband, 2 husbands, 2 wives, however you want to match it up. Okay? But it's going to have the date, and it's going to have your signature on it. And so when you go into office now saying, hey, bad behaving boss, you're violating my rights, where's your contract at? And you bring out that garbage and there's no signature on it? Your boss is looking at you and laughing at you. And they're going to write you up. Now, I put up on Twitter yesterday, I think it was yesterday, that starting July 1st, 2025, the bosses can write you up and they don't have to date and sign anything. I was being facetious. I was being silly. But I was trying to prove a point. In America, when you have a legal document, it's dated and it's signed. And oftentimes it has to be a wet signature. But for our contract, it's just, the signature of the president, maybe the 3 vice presidents, and then the bunk chairs. If you go back to our prior contract, the 2020 to 2023 contract, you'll notice. You will notice it's only President Yvonne Walker's name. And in the back of the book, she had the bunk chairs and some of the bunk team for each bargaining unit, put their names in. But the 3 vice presidents, she left their names out. And you know why? Because they tried to run her out of office. They tried to suspend her. I'm going to keep saying it over and over and over again. Now, I will be reinstated. I will be reinstated. And for some reason, that drives them out of their mind. I don't know what it is. That drives them zonkers when I say that. When I say, oh, I'm going to be reinstated, they can't handle that because they're trying to transgender the truth. What they're trying to do, they're trying to compete with real liars. See, politicians in the state government and the federal government, those are real professional liars. If you want to break it down even closer or even further, the state legislature are college athletes. In the federal government, those are the pro athletes, pro politicians in the federal government, college amateur athletes in the state government, even though college athletes now can get paid. So Local 1000, these so-called wannabe suspended leadership, they want to act like they're, quote, athletes, quote, liars. But they're not professional liars, they're not amateur liars. But they fashion themselves. You can't compete with the state legislators and the federal government. Those are real liars. But now you want to compete with them. No, you're not qualified. You're not qualified. You're a transgendered liar. You're not even a real liar. You're transgendered. You think you're doing something, but you're not. You're dancing on video. You dancing on video, is that paying somebody's rent every month? Is that paying their mortgage? Is that helping them bring food to the table by you dancing on video? If I said she was just a DEI hire, said, well, Richard, don't be so mean. She's not even a DEI hire. Or maybe she is. I won the vote. I ran in a real contested election, 5 people. When they did their illegal suspension of me, their attempted legal suspension of me, they said, we're not going to let him run. Because we let him run again, he'll win. Does this, what I'm going through, does it sound similar to what somebody else has gone through in our country? Does it? It should. It really, really should. All right. You don't have a valid contract. It's invalid. There's no signature. There's no dates. And I'm your chief negotiator. I didn't negotiate that. I don't know why you're not spreading this message to everyone in your work section. Can you imagine me still over at Local 1000 and the governor saying I'm making everybody come back to work? It wouldn't happen. Thank you, Elizabeth. It would not happen. Because we would have negotiated a high-quality contract, a 21% pay increase across the board for everyone equally, no special salary adjustments to cause dissension among our people. We would have GO pay and COLA. We would have had guaranteed permanent telework. And the only way they would have been able to deny telework is they'd have to show that they lost goods and services by you working from home. And they wouldn't be able to prove that. And they wouldn't be able to deny you a 21% pay increase across the board, equally for everyone, because they'd have to show us their financial statements and they wouldn't want to. We would get everything we wanted because you are not a slave entertaining in unity. You're not even a public servant. And why I said that word slave, because it has a righteous connotation to it. See, people have convinced you because how our foundation in our great country, when we enslaved Africans and they were given a lifetime of slavery and they said, this is the Christian way. No, that's a perverted type of Christianity. Go to Deuteronomy 15 and look it up. After 7 years, you are free. Your master is supposed to set you free unless you say, I want to stay. You are not a slave, and not even in today's society are you a public servant. You are a shareholder of a corporation, and we are an equal partner with the state of California. Your boss is not really your boss. He's just a representative of the state. Okay? More people need to understand this. Local 1000 represent employees. You are shareholders of a corporation. And it's my goal to maximize your shareholder wealth. I'm no different than a CEO of a private corporation. Okay? It's no difference. I am here to maximize your wealth. Now, once you get your wealth, if you want to support the Democrats, you want to support the Republicans, you want to go Green Party, you want to go independent, it doesn't matter. Once I get you your money and you have a workplace that's absent of management abuse, I've done my job for a period of time. It's just that simple. As long as you continue to believe that you are SEIU Local 1000, you will be a slave. That's why I don't say SEIU Local 1000. I say Local 1000. I will not be a slave. I will not wear purple and gold. And when they reinstate me, and they will, when they reinstate me, that purple and gold is over. See, I want to see who's watching towards the end of the video. Purple and gold are for slaves who think that they're royalty, but you're not. And they've taken that slave status and they transgendered it to make you think that you're a public servant, that you're a somebody. No, you're a slave. That's what they're treating you as. That's why they take money from you anytime they want. And they try to destroy you. And when you try to fight back, when you ask for job representation from Local 1000, they don't give it to you. They say, well, did you do this? And did you do that? They make you feel like you're the one that did something wrong, not the state of California. You know I'm not lying. You don't have any job representation with Local 1000. Unless it's a clear-cut, guaranteed winner, your boss came in with a bat and beat you upside your head. If you don't have a case like that, they're not helping you. They're not. And then you wonder why you walk around with so much fecal material that you can't let out. And when you try to let it out, the union says, oh no, don't let that out. That's your fault. It's not your fault. My name is Richard Lewis Brown. I want to do a fast video today on April 1st, 2025. Do not support COPE. If you're supporting COPE, end it. If they're sending you text messages and emails and constantly harassing you about COPE, say, hey, my president, Richard Lewis Brown, said not to support COPE. And those who are contributing to COPE, you should end this right now. You really should. You don't have a valid contract. All right. Now, this was a very calm and collective video. Very calm, very collective. You probably won't remember a word from this video. It's when I say certain things to you that grab your attention that you always remember. So just by me saying fecal matter, and I got good fecal matter, my body's healthy, but these so-called wannabe leaders of Local 1000, they have bad fecal matter. If they ever come to your house, don't let them use your bathroom. You'll never be able to use that toilet ever again. You know, sometimes when a fecal matter is so bad, you ever get like, there's certain types of trash, it's so contaminated that they have to go way out somewhere and they have to bury it in the ground and put chemicals on it because they don't want it to get out in the air. Because when it gets out in the air, it causes people to have a Stockholm syndrome. I told you you're a shareholder of a corporation and I'm here to maximize your value. But so many of you believe that you're still a slave and you're being sold that you're a slave by being told that you're a public servant, that you're suffering from Stockholm syndrome. That's what you're suffering from. And you don't know how to get out. You've been kidnapped. You've been a hostage for too long. And that's why you elected me. 2,637 people. And then more people came into the fold and said, we believe in you, Richard. We believe in you. And you know what I say? Don't stop believing. Don't ever stop believing. Because once you stop believing and you lose hope on life, you'll start eating fast foods. You'll let your weight go. You'll stop worried about what your spouse is saying. You won't communicate with her correctly. You won't worry about your children because you've given up on yourself. And your spouse and your children, they'll say, well, Daddy works for the state of California. What can you expect? He works for the state. He doesn't have his self-esteem. That's why he works for the state. And that's why they will despise you. They'll despise the state of California because they feel that you've lost hope in yourself. And they look to you, man of the house, woman of the house. They look to you for leadership. And some of you, both of you work for the state. And so both of you are deeply depressed because you have so much fecal matter. And your attitude is so full of fecal material because you don't know how to express yourself. And then you want other people to do your fighting for you. At a certain point in time, you've got to stand up and say, Richard, I'm ready to work. I'm going to contact you, Richard. I am ready to have you reinstated. I am ready to create a real labor union in the state of California. I am not a slave. I'm not even a public servant. Richard, you are right. I am a shareholder of a corporation, and I want you to maximize my value. So I can take care of my family and I can take great vacations because a living wage is for a living fool. You don't want a living wage. A living wage means you're living day to day. A substantial wage means you have money to live day to day. You have money to save. You have money for other things. You'll never hear Elon Musk. Wait a minute. You'll never hear no one from the Republican Party say they're living day to day. They want a living wage. You never hear them say that. But yet, they've got you convinced. Well, the Democrats have you convinced that a living wage is a good thing. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. It's not. All right. So, again, my name is Richard Lewis Brown. I am your local 1000 president. I got elected May 24th, 2021. There was a protest period. I survived the protest period. I took office on June 30th, 2021. After 37 working days, they tried to say, we're going to take all your power from you and create a legal chair position that violated the bylaws, because there's only 4 officers in the union, 4 statewide officers. So when they took away those 2 VP positions, VP of bargaining and VP of organizing representation, they violated the bylaws. Yes, they did. After 37 working days, they wanted to remove all my powers and basically put me on the sidelines. That violated the bylaws, violated the California Corporations Code, multiple codes. And then they filed a lawsuit to violate your vigilante justice. And then they tell you that I'm the one that's the problem. I never was the problem. I was your solution. If Gavin Newsom comes out right now, if we have an outbreak of COVID, and he comes out right now, he'll make every single state employee get vaccinated. Oh, yes, he will. And I won't be there to fight it off. I won't be there until the court reinstates me. And I will be reinstated. I have not lost hope. So when I was telling you a long time ago, don't stop believing, I was really talking to myself. And so I got to practice what I preach. Don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling. Because this is a Hall of Fame journey that we're on. And I said it before, with open arms, faithfully, I'm stone in love with you. And I have my marriage certificate dated and signed. I swore in, took the oath, affirmed the oath. I still love you. All right. And always going to love you. My love is not from today or tomorrow or yesterday. It's righteous from yesterday, today, and tomorrow. It doesn't end. All right. My name is Richard Lewis Brown. Today is April 1st, 2025. I am your local 1000 president. You make it a great day in the state of California. Mwah. Bye-bye.